starting today's podcast off. Matt is going to be with us in Charleston, South Carolina. Welcome to the EntreLeadership Podcast, Matt.
Hey, Dave. How are you today?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Not much, man. I'm a business owner of a candy business that has 2 part-time employees, and I recently hired my first full-time employee. How do I help this employee learn the importance of production speed and develop a sense of urgency?
What do we produce? Producing the candy?
Yes. So it's a production assistant. She's helping me produce and bag candy. It's a freeze-dried candy business. It involves stocking up for farmers markets, setting up and putting farmers markets down.
Obviously, she's slow. Why is she slow?
She comes from a background of working in offices.
People do stuff fast in offices.
They could, yes. I think there's 2 sides of the aisle for any industry, I guess. Fast-paced or slow-paced. She's been with me for about 3 months, and I've had, her 90-day review, and we've kind of discussed this, but I still haven't seen any improvement. And I've also kind of noticed more or less that she's on her phone. Not all the time, but there still isn't like a sense of urgency.
How old is she?
She's 38.
Okay. Well, she's too old to be acting like a 16-year-old.
I agree.
Who plays on their freaking phone at work that's 38 when it's a 2-person operation and your boss is standing beside you? Good Lord.
Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, she may be just dumb. I mean, golly, that's hard to believe. I mean, yeah. I mean, the difference is we don't have to have 90-day reviews. We can have 9-second reviews. Like, hey, get off your phone. We got to get this done. That's a review. I mean, I'm not going to embarrass her in front of somebody else. I'm not going to be mean to her, but I can course correct this stuff in the moment and have just look, this is what we got to do. This is a small business. It's you and me. When you're not getting your stuff done, we're not getting it done. And so that's why you're here. If you don't want to do this, it's okay. Just let me know. But this is how we got to go. We got to go. We got to get it. We got to get it. Step it up.
Initially what I was doing was production sheets with like time, like estimated times on there. And, based off
Aren't you standing there?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
And there are moments where I have to like be very abrasive, like, hey, listen, it's going on 11 o'clock. You should have been done by now. We need to move on to the next project. And there's still kind of like, okay. But if she's scheduled till 4, she'll work till 4:30 or 5 sometimes and work slow. Whereas I told her, I was like, I don't want you to have to do that. I want you to be able to, leave at 4 because you're scheduled till 4.
Oh, leave at 3 because you got it all done. Oh my God. We're self-employed here. So, all right. Henry Cloud says in his book, Necessary Endings, that you have to bring an ending to something when you've lost hope. I haven't been in this conversation for very long, and I don't have a lot of hope.
Okay.
I mean, everything I've heard sounds like this person's not trainable. Now, she might be, and so we, out of an effort of kindness and clarity, and since you might not have been clear, because you did use the word kinda. I don't like the word kinda around having these conversations. It needs to be very clear, crystal clear. Like this is a deal breaker clear. So you need to have what we call an emotional firing, and where we sit down and say, okay, here's what's going on. There's just 2 people here. And you being on your phone and not getting the candy bagged and getting stuff done very, very, very quickly like I do is not going to work for me. And if you can't do that, then we're not going to be able to do this thing together. You're going to have to work somewhere else. And I don't want to be mean to you, but I want to be very, very clear that here's the exact expectation. And if you're not going to be able or want to do that, I understand. I'm okay with that. But let's just decide right now, we'll call it. But if you want to give it a shot, then you're going to have to do this because I'm not going to talk to you about this every 2 weeks for the next 5 years. Okay? You're an adult. I'm not your parent. and I want to give you the dignity of making your own choices. But you're going to choose to do this as a condition of further employment. Does that make sense?
No, I understand.
Yeah. I don't think you've been blunt with her. I think you're more frustrated in your head than your mouth.
I would probably say so.
Yeah. Because I got to tell you, this is where it was exactly this stage of treadmill, moving from treadmill up into Pathfinder, that I had the experience. And I've told this before, and you may have heard it, Matt, so bear with me. I'm sorry, old men tell stories over and over. But I reached the point that I realized, okay, I'm Southern, which means I have to be nice to everyone while I'm pissed off inside, and I say stuff like, bless your heart, which may mean I'm going to slit your throat, right? And so I thought I was being nice by not addressing these things directly, and I finally figured out that it wasn't fair to them because they didn't know how close they were to leaving. That's unfair. And so we've developed a saying around here we say all the time, and that is, to be unclear is to ultimately be unkind. You're going to be unkind if you don't tell them. It's not fair to her. And so you got to love her enough, you got to care enough about her as a person to give her the dignity to know where she stands in this situation. And again, we're not yelling and screaming and cussing, and we're not being abrasive, but we need to be very direct, sit down, direct, uncomfortable eye contact. Everything else is quiet. There's not another person around, so it's not an embarrassing thing. But we're going to say, listen, this has really reached a serious point. And this is a difficult conversation, and this is, for the next few minutes, this is going to be uncomfortable for you. It's going to be uncomfortable for me. But I owe you clarity, and I want to give you some clarity. I can't keep you here on our team if we don't improve in these three specific areas. We've talked about them in general. If I've been unclear, I apologize for that. I'm going to make up for it today with crystal clarity. Today we're saying this is what it is, and I'm not going to beg you to do this. This is what it takes for you to continue to be here. When you do all of that, she's either going to walk out the door or you're going to have to fire her 3 weeks from now because she's not going to do it, I don't think. But I think you owe her the chance to turn it around. Occasionally someone surprises you and goes, oh, I had no idea. And they become a candy bagging fool, man. I mean, they can get it done all of a sudden, right? But that she might just find another gear in there and just thought, well, I don't know. But so many people work at quarter speed at other places, and then when they come to work for a small business, they find out we work at 1 1/4 speed. And so 125% of get them, right? And so they just don't, they can't keep up. I mean, I've had folks come to work here and they can't even keep up with me when I'm walking through the airport. I mean, come on, we're going. Let's go. What y'all doing? Standing around back there. We're shopping in the airport. The food's not that good. Let's go. Come on. And stand around on stuff. So, yeah. But we're going to have, and then on the spot, we're going to, maybe have one more conversation and go, okay, look, remember we talked about this? And then after that, I'm going to just call it. I'm just going to tap out, and you got to start again. Okay. And then what you're hiring for is a high energy person. You can't hire a sloth. They move slow. You got to hire a hyper, because we're moving lots of little pieces of candy in little bags really, really fast. It's and there's got to be a thing that goes with that. And some things you do want to hire somebody who moves a little slower and with some wisdom and pace. But this is like, pack the freaking candy, do it, So, and you kind of know that about you and maybe in the interview process. So, but I thought, I was so dumb when I first started. I thought if you hired people that they would just work. Well, that was dumb. Okay. But I thought they'd show up on time. That was dumb. I thought they would care. They don't. Now, some do. I got a building full of folk that do. But we've been through a few hundred that didn't. And we said, well, that was a mistake. I'm so sorry. We made a mistake. You made a mistake. You can't be here anymore. That's how this works. So, yeah. So, Matt, some of this is on you as a young leader. You're trying to be nice. And ultimately, you're not being nice. You're being unkind by being unclear. Crystal surgical clarity, scalpel clarity, razor sharp clarity. You owe her that. You're being unfair if you're unclear.